Hi everybody. I have a pretty quick synth update today. I went to the hardware store and picked up some pieces of wood to finish off the case. As you can see here, I found about two 5-foot stakes. I balanced the stakes between a vice grip and my drill press. Unfortunately, I don't have my vice grip bolted to the bench, so that was a bit of a hassle to use. Next here, I smooth out the edge after the cuts. The first cut is good length, so I use that as a guide for the second cut because I want them to be even. This is good because my mark was slightly off. And once I got into the rhythm of things, the cuts became easier. I then take my two pieces and I see how well they fit in the cranberry box. The first piece I'm testing is kind of small, but I know that at the top of the cranberry box it's slightly tighter. So I put the other piece down here, which fits more snug. Then I move on to cutting the other two pieces. You can see some sandpaper in the background. I had that just in case I need to sand it down a little bit. I still use the first cut to cut these other pieces, just because that piece was the better fit, and it looks like they all fit. Next, I measure out two 4.5-inch shims to cut out. These will be used to correctly space out the horizontal pieces, as I want to maintain an inside height of 4.5 inches. I cut them together to try and make sure they're exact as they can be. Here I lay out the first two pieces because I don't want to screw directly into the cranberry box. I actually had to end up changing the nails I was using because the first ones weren't cutting it. Then as you can see, I'm using the shims to make sure I have the right height. I actually had to brace the horizontal pieces to make sure that they're flat with the open face of the box. Here we shim and add the second horizontal piece, and then nail it in. And finally the completed box with all the horizontal pieces added. As you can see here, pretty big and bold, we've got the complete box for the synth. I took some measurements after, and it does seem like the wood was not even all the way through in its measurements, so there is a little bit more space on this side of the racks, but it's pretty slim, about 1/16 of an inch. Now we got our first module here, the power supply, that we can finally mount on, and it does seem to slide in just about perfectly. And there you go. You'll notice I put one of these empty Synthrotech plates on the side just to give it sort of space between the power supply and the wood, because you really aren't supposed to mount it on wood, but you know, this screams like the do-it-yourself type, right? But yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with how it's looking for a do-it-yourself case. So to end off, I can already see a few issues coming up, especially with the wood I chose for the mounts. I mean, there's a reason why most racks are metal and use machine screws. But, you know, it saved me about $200 on a case, and I'm pretty satisfied so far. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.